evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Ronke Kolawole. The lack of principles and ideologies in the political arena in Nigeria is said to be responsible for some party members defecting to another party. Patricia Esani-Luba has that report.
May not be a bad idea in itself, but an integral part of a country's democratic process. To this end, the guests say defection should be principled, motivated by ideologies and party principles. In established world democracy, defection or cross-carpeting from one political party to another by politicians is usually on grounds of party principle and ideology. In Nigeria, however, defection and counter-defection has become the vogue. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria shared various perspectives of philosophy of defection in democracy and how it should be handled. Professor Augustine Ikelegbe believes defection should be guided and backed by good reasons.
It's not strong men that we need. We need institutions with rules, institutions with procedures, institutions that are consistent, institutions that have clear leadership.
Chukwu Emeka Eze, publisher Media Law Report, proffers that in the case of politicians vying for their political ambitions should be considerate and not an affront of the Constitution of Nigeria.
They have abused defection. All political democracies have provided for defection. So what has happened in Nigeria is that we have turned the proviso to the general rule and turned the general rule to the proviso.
Professor Reis Achara said defection in itself adds to the beauty of political games plot, mostly in the parliamentary system of government. To him, defection in Nigeria by political actors has deviated from the principles.
The sad thing about our constitution is that it does not provide the sanctions in a principled way. It provides sanctions for those who defect, who carpet cross at the legislative plane. But it doesn't do so for those who change their party affiliations on the executive level.
As the nation counts down to the next general elections, their advice to Nigerians, especially the political class, is for caution to be expressed all the way. This way, Nigeria will have the desired atmosphere before, during, and after the whole process. In Abuja, Patricia Esani-Luba, NTA News.
As the nation prepares for the 2015 general elections, former Ghanaian President John Kufuor has urged all stakeholders to play the game by the rules so that Nigeria can improve on previous elections. The former president gave the advice when he visited the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja. Political correspondent Femi Johnson has that report. While waiting for that report to be ready, we move on to the next report that says that since the Independent National Electoral Commission issued a notice for the general elections, political activities have been a feverish pitch in Nasarawa State. Madaki Aliyu has the situation report.
Another to strategize ahead of the 2015 polls in the state. Similarly, campaign posters and billboards of various aspirants in the different political parties have not only increased but taken over any available spaces at strategic locations in the capital city. Some of the notable parties include the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the All Progressive Congress, APC, and the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. That is not all. Aspirants have also been mobilizing their supporters to pick nomination forms at the party offices to indicate their intention for the February 2015 general election.
Signal for success. It is a signal for victory. It is a signal for PDP appending its signature in the political terrain of this state.
I would give my people a better representation.
Try and enhance and reduce the issue of poverty.
Meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission has announced the commencement of the issuance of permanent voters' card to eligible voters in the state. Those who registered in the last exercise will receive their permanent cards, while those that have attained the age of 18 are to receive new ones. In Lafia, Amada Kyaliu, NTA News.
The National Vice Chairman of Progressive Grand Alliance ABGA, Mr. Uchenna Okogbo, has expressed the party's commitment to uphold internal democracy. The ABGA National Vice Chairman, while presenting the expression of interest and nomination form to the Secretary General of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria, ALGON, Mr. Chikwe Udensi, who wants to vie for the governorship post in Abia State on the platform of the party, said ABGA will ensure that credible candidates emerge from the primaries.
We are going to conduct a very transparent primaries in all the positions our aspirants are contesting.
The governorship aspirant, Chike Udensi, pledged an all-inclusive administration that will prioritize the journeys and aspirations of Abia's people.
Time around is to ensure that what the electorates want is what they get.
That's right.
The idea of we are voting A, we're getting B is over.
Back to a former story that says that as the nation prepares for the 2015 elections, former Ghanaian President John Kufuor has urged all stakeholders to play the game by the rules so that Nigeria can improve on previous elections. The former president gave the advice when he visited the PDP National Secretariat. Political correspondent Femi Johnson reports.
The whole idea is to find out as much as possible what your party, as the governing party, sees as the challenges along the path towards holding a free and fair and credible election.
The former Ghanaian president, who had earlier visited ECOWAS, Independent National Electoral Commission and UNDP, says the visit to the PDP is to further enjoin the ruling party to set the pace for other political parties in Nigeria on credible election. The international community noted is interested in the 2015 elections in Nigeria. The PDP National Secretary, Professor Wale Oladipo, noted that the party is determined to ensure free, fair and credible primaries. INEC, he says, must also be neutral.
The first ingredient is for the political parties to play the game according to the rule. No rigging, no violence, no cutting of corners.
Meanwhile, the immediate past Minister of Health, Professor Yebuchi Chukwu, has promised to reinvigorate all sectors in Mboyi State if given the mandate. Other aspirants, including Jan Ibrahim from Kwara State, also pledge to provide more democracy dividends and abide by the party's code of conduct.
We remain committed to emancipating Kwara. Shackles of poverty, shackles of oppression, and also shackles of depression, shackles of ignorance.
The National Organizing Secretary of the party, Abubakar Mustafa, says the party will now relent in its word and also ensure that the primaries in all the states are free, fair, and credible. With just 1 day to the end of the sale of nomination forms, 236 gubernatorial aspirants have already signified interest in the party's ticket. They are also expected to submit the nomination form before the 8th of November. From the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja, Femi Johnson, NTA News.
A two-day international conference on political parties and violence-free elections has ended in Abuja with a resolve by politicians to cooperate with electoral umpires for a smooth implementation of the 2015 polls. Correspondent Muhammad Abdelkader reports that the organizers, National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU, and the political parties' Leadership and Policy Development Center approved the communique. His report.
Part of the recommendations by stakeholders at the conference is that INEC should ensure a level playing ground for all political parties in future elections.
Processes should be transparent enough to the knowledge of the general public so that everybody will feel that they have been treated fairly.
Key institutions of state also respecting rights of citizens to express opinion.
There is need for a communication strategy that will make the ordinary citizens understand the whole process that is being put forward for electioneering.
The stakeholders in the nation's electoral process resolved to give peace a chance before, during, and after the 2015 elections.
Internal communication and not to interact with other colleagues in other political parties. So it has been very, very educating for us.
That there should be an insulation of the apparatus of state.
While recommending regular interface between the key players in the nation's electoral process, politicians resolved to always judge than to war in resolving their political differences. In Abuja, Muhammad Abdelkader, NTA News.
Away from political issues now, President Goodluck Jonathan has condoled the people and government of Zambia on the passing on of their president, Michael Sata. In a statement signed by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Reuben Abati, President Jonathan described the late Zambian leader as a patriot and nationalist who will be remembered for his uncompromising stand against neo-colonialism. He further prayed God to comfort the family and the people of Zambia. You're watching Nationwide. Lagos is our first stop as we join Abdullahi for stories making the rounds in that zone.
Good to see you, Ronke, and thanks for joining us here in Lagos. The Chief Justice of the Federation, Mariam Al-Loma Mukhtar, has reminded judicial officers of their responsibility to ensure peace and security, especially checking terrorism through the instrumentality of the law. Justice Mukhtar, while speaking at the first annual conference at the International Law Association in Lagos, says democracy and the rule of law remain the most sustainable way of ensuring economic development for Nigeria. Lilineki has details.
The conference is examining issues bordering on international investment in the era of global threats and the responses to such threats through the law. The Chief Justice of the Federation identified a consistent application of the law to sustainable peace and development as a key strategy in Nigeria and other democratic too.
Security of lives and property plays a major role in the development of any country. As investors in any economy want to be assured of the safety of their investments.
The keynote speaker and international lawyer and Queen Counsel, Professor Maurice Mandelson, submitted that foreign investments strive in an environment of rule of law, mutual protection for investors and their host, shared values on standards and impartial arbitration of investment disputes.
If you take the view that an orderly system of international investment protection benefits not only the investors but also countries who want to attract foreign investment.
Speakers spoke on the significance of the conference.
We wanted to create a platform for Nigerians who are interested in international law, both public and private.
International law is bound to grow, being more relevant in tackling the problem nowadays.
The Nigerian branch of the International Law Association was launched at the conference. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
The federal government says it is embarking on the development of more cities and towns in the country as a way of sustaining economic growth and promote efficient urban and regional settlement. Minister of Land, Housing and Urban Development unveiled these plans at the opening of the conference of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners in Lagos. The report.
The rapid urbanization and population growth in the urban cities have continued to pose challenges in the management and development plans for cities in the country. This is why this conference is seeking new strategies that can sustain the developmental plans of the government. The Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development observed that the emergence of such cities that will serve as engine of growth and development will depend on the collaborative efforts of both the private and public sectors of the economy. She noted that government has provided the enabling infrastructure and services for an improved living condition of citizens.
The federal government is coming up with diverse projects. For example, we've given concession to a consortium to develop the Festa Phase 2, which is coming up. That's a project that by the time it comes on board, it is fully developed, it will house and take care of the surge of the thick population in Lagos. Other projects are there, the housing, affordable houses done by the federal government, the ministerial houses. They are also coming up.
Chairman African Planning Association Wahid Kaduri said the transformative potential of enhancing economic growth, innovation and productivity can only be achieved through careful planning. There were goodwill messages. The 4-day conference is expected to evolve strategies and make inputs in the development agenda of government in future.
To politics now, ahead of the general election, youths in Okyogun and 3 other local government of Oyo North Senatorial District have affirmed their unflinching support for the second-term ambition of Governor Abiola Jumobi of Oyo State in appreciation of his youth empowerment program. Correspondent Fatai Adieloja covered the rally organized by youths in Shaki. His report.
Leader of the youths in Okyogun, Liadi Batarire, said the reason why they chose behind Governor Ajimobi is his multifaceted youth empowerment program, which has taken a large number of them.
At the time that the nation is counting down to general elections, there's a wake-up call for leaders to be more accountable in service delivery and provide the dividends of democracy. NTA News.
5 of the 8 persons allegedly involved in extorting various sums of money from unsuspecting members of the public in the guise of being authorized officers of the Federal Inland Revenue Services have been arraigned before a federal high court in Abuja. Correspondent Abu Fatah Adediro reports that the accused persons are yet to meet the bail conditions as at the time of filing this report.
The 5 accused persons, Alex Oki, Obona Agu, and Shuaib Muhammad, as well as Kende Jonah and David Kachia, were arraigned on a 5-count charge. They were granted bail in the sum of 5 million naira each and the surety in like sum. The surety, who must be civil servants from grade level 10 and above, must produce 3 years tax clearance certificate and deposit certificate of their landed property valued at least 10 million naira by an estate valuer, who in turn must tender his certificate of practice. The other 4 accused persons who are now at large are Pascal alias Sullivan Aja, Aminu Ibrahim, Onyekachi alias Don Chris. They were alleged to have conspired to commit the said offense of holding themselves out as authorized officers of the Federal Inland Revenue Service to extort one Nina Esther Amara under the pretext of offering her employment, an offense punishable under Section 419 of the Criminal Code Act, Cap C28, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. Counsel to the accused persons, Ebenezer Abadaki, in praying for the bail of his clients, argues that the offense is a bailable one and urged the court to construe the plea of not guilty in favor of his clients, who are deemed innocent under the law unless the contrary is proved. Prosecution counsel Chinazo Ede had opposed the application for bail of the accused persons.
You may not have all the details you need. It's better you reach through FIRS Corporate Communications Department. They will give you all the information you need.
I'm satisfied, and I'm hopeful that my client will be able to meet the bail terms and conditions.
Justice Gabriel Kolawole, in adjourning the case to December 16, 2014, granted the accused persons bail in the sum of 5 million naira each and a surety in like sum. In Abuja, Abdul Fatah Adediran, NTA News.
A working synergy between Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agencies MEDAN and Nigerian Society of Engineers has been concretized with the signing of an understanding that will lead to the deployment of science and technology knowledge and skills in small and medium enterprises development. Kiran Umeayo reports that at a press conference preceding the signing ceremony, President, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Ademola Isaac Olorunfemi, informed journalists that Nigeria will host the 2014 World Engineering Conference on Sustainable Infrastructure. The report.
Engineering Conference will not only add impetus to solutions to Africa's development challenges, but provide a platform for engineers to showcase recent concepts and engineering innovations that will enhance infrastructural delivery on the continent. President of Nigerian Society of Engineers, Ademola Azik Olorunfemi, says that the time is now for Nigeria to draw inference from wider scope of engineering practice.
In fact, on Monday before the opening ceremony, there's going to be a workshop on infrastructure. So we are determined to assist government for our sake, as a country, as mankind.
On the collaborative arrangement forged between SMEDEN and Nigerian Society of Engineers, while NSE will design and implement a robust and effective system that will ensure the substitution of imported products with indigenous alternatives, SMEDEN will provide data of existing enterprises, potential entrepreneurs, and awareness on the need to imbibe the culture of patronizing Nigerian products.
I have identified the Nigerian Society of Engineers as a very critical establishment in Nigeria that has a very big role to play in ensuring the development of micro, small and medium enterprises in our country.
After 5 decades of engineering practice in Nigeria, issues such as the operation of quacks, collapsed building, and poor infrastructural development still persist. Tackling these issues remains a central focus of all engineering bodies in Nigeria under the umbrella of Nigerian Society of Engineers, which will next month be hosting World Engineering Conference, where some of those pertinent issues will be addressed from a broader perspective. In Abuja, Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
Thank you, Kirian. The federal government has commenced hiring services of agricultural equipment with the aim of boosting food production and making farming activities easier. The initiative, which was flagged off in Guzo, Zamfara State, is providing 2,000 hiring centers nationwide. Musa Baba Aliyu has more.
The Agric Mechanization Program will establish a total of 1,200 equipment hiring enterprises across the country. Will be equipped with 6,000 units of tractors, 15,000 power tillers, and 2,000 harvesting and post-harvesting equipment. The equipment are expected to be used to cultivate an additional 70 million hectares of land and create over 200,000 direct and indirect jobs. Zamfara State is the first state to benefit from such services.
The tractor hiring has also been forgotten in the process, but now we got it from the federal government.
Our farmers benefited so many things. Fertilizers, improved seeds, silos.
The tractors inaugurated today will be used to cultivate 8,000 hectares of new land in Zamfara State. It will also expand the food production by 32,000 metric tons.
The provision of mechanized services for the first set of operations in Zamfara State for the entire dry season, that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture will pay for all the mechanized services 100%.
Going by the increase in population coupled with food demand of the country, experts say hoe and cutlass farming are significant, hence the need for mechanization, which the federal government is embarking on. From Gusau, Zamfara State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
To further strengthen the growth enhancement scheme of the Nigerian government, which gives further direct access to input through their mobile phones, the World Bank is supporting the initiative with a program tagged Touch and Pay using unique offline technology. Here again is Musa Baba Aliyu.
Used by the World Bank has been developed to support farmers who have no access to mobile phones to be able to redeem their input from agro dealers through the Growth Enhancement Scheme of the federal government. The pilot project is presently being implemented in Sokoto and the federal capital city of Abuja, targeting over 500,000 farmers.
Through the support of the World Bank, developed a fertilizer quality control bill so that we can actually trade fertilizers from Nigeria into others, and we can, if we have to import fertilizer from others, but at least the quality is controlled.
The program has so far received recognition from other African countries and is being promoted by the African Fertilizer and Agribusiness Partnership.
The World Bank is now trying to promote knowledge exchange, and we have now a new structure where we want to have the best of each country being shared with other countries.
Apart from boosting the food production of the country, the platform will also strengthen the data collection of farmers nationwide. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Away from agriculture now, the Postmaster General of the Federation, Ibrahim Mori Ibrahim, says the Nigerian Postal Service is working towards further revitalizing its services in line with ICT breakthrough. The Postmaster General was speaking at the commissioning of an ICT center in Song local government area of Adamawa State. Dafawa Hamza Mayo reports.
The center is designed to enable users access information technology services and help develop the human capacity of the community. With state-of-the-art facilities, the center aims at bringing people closer to government and was provided through collaboration between NIPOS and National Information Development Agency. The Postmaster General of the Federation said the provision of the center is in line with the federal government's policy of making ICT accessible to all.
IT is the world now. There is nothing under the earth that we could do now without the IT.
The Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency, Mr. Peter Jack, represented by Mr. Harami Balami, said the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan has created a platform for close collaboration between agencies to improve the lot of the citizenry. The facilitator of the center, Engineer Saidu Jidda, the Vice Chairman Song local government and representatives of the traditional rulers of the area commended the federal government for a job well done.
Commissioning that partnership with the leader and now it is happening in some in Nigeria to drive.
There are presentations of awards to the facilitator Engineer Saidu Jidda from the students of the area in Yola. Tafawa Hamza Mayo, NTA News.
With an estimated 80% of strokes worldwide said to be preventive, campaigns have been on the rise to raise awareness on the disease. The World Stroke Organization is one of such bodies that aims to enlighten people on this threat to the quality of life. In this special report, correspondent Dennis Adeguloye reports on the causes, preventive measures, and treatment of stroke.
29th of October every year is a day set aside by the United Nations to address worldwide challenges faced by millions of people concerning strokes and the debilitating and degenerative effects of the disease. And I have here with me now Dr. Niumuddin Essen to talk more to us about the disease. You're very welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so strokes, what exactly is a stroke?
A stroke, we could put it in a simple form, as sudden loss of blood supply which carries oxygen and nutrients to the brain, a portion of the brain. Once that nutrition is cut off, including oxygen, then a portion of the brain actually dies off. Incomplete stroke means that there's still a window for the brain to fully recover if things are done early enough. And then, of course, complete means the damage has become permanent. And the only thing we can actually hope for is some partial recovery.
And what is the time frame for this window that you talk about, sir?
We're looking at a time frame of about 4 hours.
A CT scan of the brain of a suspected stroke sufferer is recommended.
Dead areas, like you're seeing dead areas in the brain, because normally they are all infarcts here. Normally you're meant to see the brain as just how this, this area is. Okay. But now you're not seeing all this empty cells.
Factors that increase the risk of a stroke include age, behavioral patterns, eating habits, smoking and drinking, high blood pressure and cholesterol, as well as diabetes.
But of course, that person also has what he can do to limit that risk by modifying the lifestyle. And then, of course, we also look at exercise.
Signs of a stroke sufferer are facial distortions, difficulty in speaking, and partial paralysis. Incomplete stroke sufferers are administered drugs to dissolve clots and re-establish blood flow to the brain, while care of complete stroke sufferers is supportive, with regular moving and physiotherapy being the primary treatment. What is the layman's understanding of a stroke?
You have to avoid some certain things that we eat. A lot of things are going in people's body, they don't know. They don't check their BP, they don't check their hypertension, they don't check anything.
The person becomes incapacitated and all that. So most times people don't recover well fully from it.
With over 15 million people worldwide affected by strokes, 6 million of those dying and 5 million left paralyzed, The World Stroke Organization in 2010 declared the stroke a public health emergency and now has an ongoing annual campaign to maintain public awareness of the disease. In Abuja, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Thank you, Dennis. Abandoned projects appear to be a trademark of the University of Abuja, an institution that is in dire need of 3 billion naira to finish uncompleted projects. Franka Uzoma reports that the institution is one of the first visited by the Minister of Education under the Impact Assessment Tour of federal institutions.
Since September 9th, the University of Abuja has been on break, having completed its last academic session. For now, resumption of academic activities is not in sight until the administration pays attention to the renovation of dilapidated hostels and classrooms. Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Michael Adiku, says his administration inherited 12 uncompleted projects.
You will note that some building projects have been abandoned. These are largely those that were started with money from appropriation from annual budgets. We will need assistance, sir, to ensure that they are completed.
Similarly, the loss of accreditation for many of the courses, especially the Center for Distance Learning, has not helped the university. For the Minister of Education, Malam Ibrahim Shekarau, the issue of abandoned projects negates government's agenda of creating access and improving the quality of education.
We've seen about 4 abandoned projects that were started about 6 years ago, and I think this is what we actually want to discourage.
The University of Abuja currently has a student population of 14,000. The University of Abuja, as the Vice-Chancellor puts it, is seeking ways of improving infrastructure through the build, operate and transfer system. The Minister of Education also inspected the Nigerian Research and Education Network, NGREN, a project of the National Universities Commission. It is designed to expand access to education to over 1 million students in 27 universities.
The NUC is a blessing to our educational system. It has really proved to be a very good intervention in monitoring and supervision of the tertiary education, particularly university education.
NGREN is a federal government initiative that will enable universities collaborate with their counterparts within and outside the country in the area of research. In Abuja, Franka Uzoma Olwa, NTA News.
Time to pause for another break now. The news continues in a moment.
The Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Public Affairs, announces a public affairs forum holding at the Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. The theme, the Jonathan Administration, 4 Impactful Years. The forum will be an interactive session with professional groups, civil society organizations, the organized youth, women groups, trade, students' union, market men, women, and invited members of the general public on the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Dates, Thursday, October 30th, 2014. Honorable Ministers of Power, Aviation, and Water Resources. Friday, October 31st, 2014. Minister of Transport and Parastatals on the hymn. Monday, November 3rd, 2014. Honorable Ministers of Health, Agriculture, and Education. Tuesday, November 4th, 2014. Honorable Ministers of Works, Trade, and Investment. And
do you care about? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa, and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-7956. Jade's Hotels. Welcome to life.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.ng, or you can follow us at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube at www.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Welcome back. More pro-Jonathan groups are intensifying efforts to garner more support for the People's Democratic Party in order to return President Goodluck Jonathan to the presidential villa 15. As part of strategies to achieve this, the National Coalition for Jonathan Sambo Presidency 2015 has highlighted 15 major projects the North Central has benefited from the current administration, which justified the need to support Jonathan in the 2015 election. Mie Ogidi brings us the details.
The National Coalition for Jonathan Sambo Presidency 2015 claimed that in the 2011 elections, about 6 million people voted for President Goodluck Jonathan in the North Central Zone. But in the 2015 elections, this number is expected to increase. The North Central chapter of the group decided to go all out for the president for bringing unprecedented development to the zone, especially the dualization of the Abuja-Habaji-Lokoja Road, construction of bridge across River Benue, the Lafia-Obi-Ewe Road, the Zungero Power Project, federal universities in the zone, and political appointments.
There is the need to consolidate on these achievements of Mr. President. Consolidation can only be achieved through continuity, so that more achievements, more projects that are people-oriented can be embarked upon.
On the issue of security,
the federal government is doing its best to stem insecurity in this country. But the stakeholders from the various regions that these things are involved, how prepared are they to assist the federal government in overcoming these issues? But whether we like it or not, the truth must one day come out to bear.
To ensure victory for the president in the 2015 elections, the group reaffirmed its resolve to ensure that the PDP capture all the 15,733 polling units in the North Central Zone. In Abuja, Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Still on politics, the All Progressive Congress, APC, has held an extraordinary convention in Abuja with members of the party from different states of the Federation and Abuja in attendance. The occasion provided a platform for the APC to present all its presidential aspirants. They include General Muhammadu Buhari, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Mr. Sam Unda Isaiah, Alhaji Ibrahim Kwankwaso, and Chief Rochas Okorocha. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, who defected to the party, was also presented formally and accepted into the fold. The national chairman of APC, Chief John Oyegun, says APC represents a new dawn in the annals of Nigerian politics.
In the VIP stand, the Right Honorable Speaker Alhaji Aminu Tambuwa. APC! APC! Change!
The National Working Committee of the PDP has endorsed the zoning of the 2015 governorship election in Akwa Ibom State. A statement signed by the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Chief Olista Metu, says only aspirants from elect senatorial zone were representing themselves for party election in Akwa Ibom State. A compendium of essays and lectures that touched on various aspects of the nation's existence by Tunde Arosoyin has been presented to the public. Correspondent Ifaye Zumba has details of the publication titled Thoughts of Our New Nigeria.
The 120-page book captured the very foundation processes, challenges and prospects, while constructively engaging policymakers and the Nigerian populace on ways to address the numerous challenges bedeviling the nation.
Anybody who is young, is younger than 32, picks up the book, will know some of the issues, socio-political, economic issues.
If everybody imbibe the thoughts that are there, will attain the so-called lofty dream that has eluded us for quite some time to build a greater country.
The book reviewer, Phil Mweli, observed that it is a resource for solving the unemployment, food, infrastructure, and inconsistency in government policies.
The solution to the various setbacks in Nigeria lies in agriculture.
Oh, the relevance of the book are issues that has worked against the progressive advancement of this country in the last 30 years. It has been highlighted right from the Second Republic to date.
The writer called on major players in the agricultural sector and other stakeholders to perform their responsibilities diligently so that the agricultural sector can move forward. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has approved the reappointment of Mr. Ziakede Patrick Abolokemi as the Director General, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, for a second and final tenure of 4 years. A statement by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Empire State. The appointment takes effect from 23rd of December 2014. The Vice President Guy Scott, the Vice President of Zambia, Guy Scott, has emerged as the interim president, making him the first white to be an Africa leader after de Klerk during South Africa's apartheid. This is coming on the heel of the death of the president, Michael Sata. Chimdema Undubisi has the report. We're sorry that report is not ready. We now take on sports. Super Eagles are sure of victory over Sudan in AFCON qualifier as Italian footballer Che is banned from racist comments. Correspondent Amansi Marcus has that report.
Jos Federal High Court, presided over by Justice Ambrose Alagwa, has fixed Thursday, October 30, for ruling on a motion for stay of execution of a judgment of the court dissolving the NFF Executive Committee elected on September 30 in Warri, Delta State. The defendants, being NFF Executive Committee, told the court it has no jurisdiction as football matters are not for such courts, based on Article 69 of the NFF statute, which the plaintiff, being Chris Giwa, say is in direct contravention section of the Nigerian Constitution. Football stakeholders are eagerly awaiting Thursday's ruling, as FIFA has given Nigeria up to Friday, October 31, to fall in line with FIFA statutes by withdrawing the case or face a suspension. Meanwhile, the new office complex of the Nigeria Football Federation in the Package B section of the Abuja National Stadium, and which was commissioned in July 2013, is to be put to use within 90 days. President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, who gave the indication, revealed the Akwa Ibom State government has agreed to furnish the building.
We've got an architect to go and do some work there, you know, because there are some things that are done that were not done properly, and of course we are trying to create standard. We're trying to create standard because we are looking at corporate Nigeria.
FIFA says it is keeping faith with the ability of Russia to host a successful 2018 FIFA World Cup, despite calls by some European football stakeholders that the hosting rights be taken away. President of the football ruling body, Sepp Blatter, allayed fears of any boycott of the games.
But the World Cup are not Olympic Games. The World Cup is football, and football cannot be boycotted. Cannot be boycotted in any country, and it will not in Russia.
FIFA has a contingency plan to avoid Ukraine playing in the same group if Ukraine qualifies and if the sour relationship between the two countries continues. With Sports News Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
It's now time for a quick check on weather prospects across the country. It is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. We'd like to thank you for joining us on the Nationwide. Remember, there'll be more reports at 7 and the network news at 9. Do have a very lovely evening.